So if you want to change out the transmission filter on your 2002 to 2006 Toyota Camry 2.4 liter 4-cylinder, you're going to need some specialty tools because there's this metal rail, like a subframe in the way. There's a 4-speed transmission, I think that's 2002, 2003, and then around 2004 or 5, I think they switched to the 5-speed. I think 2005 and 6 should both be 5-speed. This is a 2006, so this is what the 5-speed filter and gasket look like. It's TF174 from Duralast. And so you can just use a 10mm socket and wrench on some of the bolts, but in some areas you're gonna need either this pass-through ratchet with a 10mm or a flex head 10mm, and the drain bolt is a 10mm Allen head, or they call it like an H10 if you have one of these socket Allen wrench heads. So let me show you the areas where I'm having to use this. Because what they tell you is, they tell you have to take off like this inner fender well. Some people even recommend removing the wheel. I don't want to have to do all that. And then they tell you to remove like this splash shield right here. And then they tell you to remove that whole metal rail. And I'm just like, man, what a pain in the ass. So here's your drain bolt with a 10mm Allen. And then most of these 10mm you can just get to with a regular ratchet and socket all around here. But when you get under this rail right here, that's when things start getting tricky. And especially when you get up to the I guess you call this like the driver's side, but all the way in the back corner, that's where things really get tight. So I was able, on this back corner here, I was able to fit my my flex head and get in here. But it's kind of hard because this whole pan has this metal lip around it. And so my flex head, I couldn't even use it at all here on this. I guess it's like the second one from that back corner. So what I had to do is I had to start it off with that pass-through socket, just a few turns, but you can't go more than a few turns because then you'll get stuck, because as you start loosening it, it starts backing out, and that pushes you more and more against this frame rail, and then you won't be able to get your socket off. So you can only do a few turns, and then that gives you enough clearance to get in there with the flex head and take it off the rest of the way. Those two bolts are probably the hardest, but once you get past those two, then it starts getting a little easier because you start getting more room. Like this, the third one here, I could just put that pass-through socket and loosen it all the way. And then I think once I'm done with those three, I think the rest of them you can just reach with a standard 10mm. I know it's kind of hard to see down here. It's just a little dark and my camera struggles to focus a little here and there, but you know, I think that gives you some pointers and gives you an idea. And once you get this off, it's just 3 bolts. I'm not even sure what size, I haven't gotten to it yet. Then it's 3 bolts to pull off your filter and switch it out.